Skeletal System, Chapter 6, Bones, Part 1. About the second time we tried this, thanks to technical difficulties. All right, happy Halloween, pugs say. So the skeletal system consists of 206 bones on the average in the adult human and includes connective tissues such as cartilage, which covers bones, tendons, which connect muscle to bone, ligaments, which connect bone to bone. So, five functions of the skeletal system in general are: one, support. Your bones help support you. You couldn't really stand too rigid and tall without bones. They very firm yet flexible, so your nose and ears can bend. Ligaments are also bands of fibrous collagen tissue that holds bones together. Collagen is very strong. You find it in a lot of ligaments and tendons. Bones protect us. Your ribs and your skull protect your brain and your heart. Bones for movement. We would move around like snakes or something, slither around without any bones. We'd be a muscle mass on the floor. So, muscle to bone. Bones act like stilts. Ligaments. And then joints, that is bone to bone, allow movement between the bones. So you can flex your arms and you've got different bones that are attached. Tendons and ligaments, again, are both made of collagen fibers. Collagen is very tough and strong. So tendons and ligaments are mainly composed of collagen fibers. Composed means made up of. All right, bones also store things. They work as a storage function. The bone stores calcium, that's right, calcium phosphates. So that is a mineral called hydroxyapatite, big, bold, and red. Hydroxyapatite is the name of the mineral form in which we store calcium and phosphate in the form of calcium phosphate crystals. It also stores fat. So fat is stored in the bone marrow, and fat opposes yellow. Yellow marrow is fat, and that's mostly in the diaphysis or the shaft of the bone. Okay, so the fat, the calcium, the phosphate, they're released when we need them. Fifth function is blood cell production. That's right. Your kidneys and your bones help produce blood. Your kidneys, believe it or not, tell you when you need to produce more red blood cells. We'll talk about that later. But the bones contain bone marrow, and it's the red bone marrow which produces blood. Mainly red because red blood cells make it red. And you have more red blood cells than white blood cells. So platelets and blood cells are formed, and mostly have the spongy bone or the epiphyses, the ends of long bone. Epiphyses, be upon. Epi means upon. That's the end or upon the bone. All right, now we're talking about connective tissue. Bone is a connective tissue. The skeletal system itself is made up of connective tissue which maintains extracellular matrices. Remember, from tissues, extracellular matrices, or the extra means outside of the cell. So all that stuff on the outside of the cell. Collagen is a tough rope-like protein. Again, tendons and ligaments, mainly collagen. Your bones do have collagen in them. Your bones bend a bit before they snap. Proteoglycan is a big branching sugary starchy substance that contains water molecules trapped inside of it, and that makes it the bulk of your cartilage that is your ears and nose. Hydroxyapatite, of course, is the calcium phosphate mineral that makes the bone rigid and hard. So here's a basic long bone. At the end of a long bone, you have cancellous bone or spongy bone. They call it pecular bone because the little scaffolding inside is called peculae. Toffee Fell, who made the Eiffel Tower, designed it. I designed from the spongy bone at the end, how it was light yet strong. The blue stuff on the outside is articular cartilage, because it's for bones to articulate, and the cartilage makes a smooth articulation, so it's not bone on bone. The epiphyseal plate is at the epiphyses, the end, and that's where you grow it, your growth plate. When that hardens up, you're done growing. Cortical or compact bone is the hard bone. It's on the outside. And then the periosteum is the membrane surrounding around the osteobone. On the inside, you have an endosteum, also membrane, which contains osteoblasts as well. This outside one contains osteoblasts and osteoclasts, and the osteoblasts put calcium into bone, osteoclasts take it back out, put it back in the bloodstream. Of course, your blood vessels permeate the bone to feed it. Here's a cutaway section of the middle, the diaphysis of a long bone. You can see the trabeculae on the inside, the spongy bone, cancellous bone. On the outside area, you have the compact bone. So an osteon is the unit of compact bone. The Haversian canal is the canal down the middle of the osteon, named after a guy named Claudius Havers, who discovered all this, an old Swedish doctor. So that canal holds the blood vessels which go up and down the bone, and then these little sideways perforating canals where blood vessels come across are called perforating or Volkmann canals, named after the Volkmann dude. Don't you love things are named after people? No. So the periosteum begins surrounds the bones, the membrane of connective tissue surrounding the bone, contains your osteoblasts and osteoclasts. Oh, what's that? Lacuna containing osteocytes. Every little black dot is where an osteoblast has built itself in with hydroxyapatite, and now it's trapped itself in a little room called a lacuna. Lacuna is its home. Lacuna matata for the rest of its life. So the osteoblast trapped in lacuna, now it's called an osteocyte, osteobone site cell, and it maintains the health of the cell. Remember that from tissues. Canaliculi, no, you can't lick my eye. Canaliculi, little tiny canals, go from the Haversian canal in the middle and carry nutrients from the blood vessels through these little tiny cracks, these little tiny canals, canaliculi, out to the lacuna to feed the individual cells. All right, there's 4 types of bones based on the shape. Long bones, obviously, are long. So your hands, or the ends of your hands, your arms, your legs. There's also the short bones within the wrist. You have flat bones, such as your ribs, your scapula, your sternum, and your skull. You have your regular shaped bones, such as your face, area. The long bone structure has a diaphysis. Shaft, the long part. It's diaphysis in the middle. Boom. The epiphyses are the ends of the bone. Epi, upon. Ends of the long bone are called epiphyses. One is an epiphysis, the other one's an epiphysis, together the epiphyses. So you label the epiphyses, you got epiphysis 1, epiphysis 2, and you can see the epiphyses are mostly cancellous or spongy bone, the diaphysis mostly compact bone. Articular cartilage lines the ends of the epiphyses. Again, what type of cartilage is it? What's my favorite type of cartilage? Lines the end of bones, gets worn down with age and with exercise. Cartilage. So the epiphyseal line again is your growth plate. You can see it there. That looks like one in a mature adult. It's stopped. It's a line now. It's no longer a growth plate. And it is not big and fuzzy looking. It's sharp, which means they're done growing. So it replaces cartilage at the epiphyseal growth plate. So in the epiphyses, you have cartilage growing there. As long as it comes up in x-rays, cartilage, chances are you're still growing. You're still putting bone on, making your bone longer. So the medullary cavity, medulla, remembers the middle, the inside of the bone. And the cavity is hollow, and the diaphysis is filled with something called marrow. So again, your red marrow is your site of red blood cell production in general, and your yellow marrow is fat. So yellow marrow replaces the red marrow. So as you get older, the yellow marrow pushes further and further and further up, and the red marrow gets pushed clear to the ends of the epiphyseal plates where you don't have a whole lot. yellow. Some review questions on page 198. You can use this as your homework to practice. So here's some questions for review. Major part of the bone, hydroxyapatite. Flexible strength because of collagen and proteoglycan aggregates. Primary function of osteoclasts is osteoclasts, C, class 2. They break down bone. Central canals, they're right down the middle and they carry blood. Lamellae, oh, the lamellae. The lamellae are little sheets of hydroxyapatite put in rings around, like tree rings, to make up the osteon. So lamellae are the concentric rings of lamella. So lamellae because it's like laminates. A laminate, you put down sheets of laminate, same type of thing with the bones. Spongy bones, called trabeculae, right? The trabeculae. A fracture in the shaft of bone. If you fracture the shaft of the bone in the middle, you've broken the diaphysis. Practice those. Yellow marrow again is mostly fat. Periosteum. Oh yes, periosteum is continuous with collagen fibers of tendons and ligaments. And it goes out to attach them together. That's a good question. Question. We're going to practice that in class. Case study. Brings us back to periosteum again. Periosteum again surrounds the bone, and it contains osteoblasts and osteoclasts for building on and taking away of bone, which constantly works throughout your life. That's why you can change your posture, poor posture. The osteoclast and osteoblast can be working to cause you to have a different shape, different stature. So keep a good posture. Eat your dark green leafy veggies, keep the calcium going, exercise, be healthy. Endosteum is on the inside, layers the inside of the medullary cavity. It contains some osteoblasts, and again, it lines the medullary cavity. Bone fractures. We'll talk about this more in class. A simple fracture is a break in a bone. A compound fracture, you'd think compound means more than one. No, compound just means it is broken through the skin. That's all it means. So here's a picture of Aaron's finger. He was a student here a few years ago, and he had a compound fracture. His little bone was sticking up through his finger there. Not real pretty, but it healed real nice. So a green stick fracture is when the break does not go all the way through the bone. A spiral fracture comes down at an angle. A comminuted fracture means you've broken that bone in many places. People say, I shattered it. Yeah, that's comminuted. I shattered my bone, man. My tibia is shattered. Transverse, like a T going across. And of course, compound, sticking out through the skin. Two types of bones based on the structure. We have compact bone on the outside and the spongy bone on the inside. And what are those little scaffolds called in the cancellous bone? Trabeculae. So the osteon, or the eversion system, is the basic unit of structure of compact bone. There's an osteon, there's an osteon, there's an osteon. Every circle is an osteon, where it has that central canal bringing blood vessels up it. Here you can see a big osteon on the right, decent sized osteon in the middle, and a bigger one in the back. That's an osteon. Central canal right down the middle. Every little black hole is a lacuna, which contains the osteocyte living inside of it. Little cracks going out are the canaliculi, so the blood travels from the blood vessel, central vessel, out through these canaliculi to feed the osteocytes, and their waste products travel back through those canaliculi to the blood and back home again. With that, we're going to end part 1.